What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com, and I'm really excited to dive into today's episode because we're going to be talking about something so powerful, something so simple, but yet not a lot of people like to focus on. And hear me out. After you get done watching and listening to today's episode, you're going to have a completely different mindset shift, but most importantly, some easy to do exercises that you can immediately start doing each and every day and have such a dramatic change on your overall life. Let's dive in. So for today's episode, we're going to be talking all about creating a declaration for yourself. And let me just say this, before we really dive into today's presentation, please be open-minded. Honestly, what I'm about to share with you in today's episode can dramatically change and improve your life, but you have to be open-minded. Here's the topic overview for today's conversation. For starters, let's dive into the importance of creating a declaration and what that actually means. But then let's go into some specific tips on how to do so that way you can make sure that you get the most bang for your buck. And then lastly, right, what to keep in mind for success. I bet you anything that when I started today's episode and I said declaration, immediately you started thinking to yourself about the Declaration of Independence. And yes, that is a declaration, but I'm going to be talking about something just as important, and that's a declaration for yourself to go after your goals and what that actually means. If we take a look in the dictionary, here's the definition that we will have for declaration, right? It is the act of declaring or an announcement, right? A positive, explicit, or formal statement, a proclamation. Now take a look at these little sticky notes here. It says, I'm confident, I'm successful, I'm unstoppable, I feel more grateful each day, I'm led by my dreams. Now, you're probably thinking, Joe, these sound more like affirmations, not a declaration, because who knows, maybe you're thinking like a declaration, right? It has to be something more masculine, right? Or more like something that has to do with war or something like that. But no, keep in mind, an affirmation and a declaration is pretty much the same. It's just, what is the story that you're telling yourself? I personally like to say that, hey, when I say my affirmations, I'm declaring this upon myself. And we're going to go here into some specifics on what that actually means. So that way, once again, if you're open-minded, hands down, if you do a few of these little techniques and exercises, you're going to see a dramatic change and overall improvement on your life. Now take a look at the definition of an affirmation. It says a word or phrase repeated to oneself to declare, right? Declaration, declare a certain belief or feeling. Affirmations help a person to change their mindset and become the person they truly wish to be. And I love that because once again, what is the story that you're telling yourself on an affirmation? Typically, right? Especially in today's age, right? I would say that when most people think about an affirmation, they think about this new age, staring at yourself in the mirror and saying, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, and trying to brainwash themselves into believing that. But that's not what it actually is, you know? An affirmation, once again, is a declaration to yourself. It's a commitment. It's, hey, you're taking ownership here. And I want to give you a few little analogies on how to really think about affirmations or declarations to yourself to just give you power, but most importantly, give you permission to start living in that power. Personally, for me, I love reading the Bible. There is so much wisdom and knowledge and greater understanding that you can gain from it. And I make sure that each and every day, I'm in the Word and I'm reading. And I have so many different favorite Bible verses. But one of my top 5 is this one right here coming from Proverbs 18:21, which says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So what are the words that you're saying to yourself? What are the words that you're affirming? What are you declaring? So many times people often forget that, the story that we tell ourselves, and I don't mean just think, but actually tell ourselves, like the words that we speak, even if you're just joking around. Oh, I'll never be in shape, right? Well, guess what? You just affirmed that. There is so much power in the words that we say, and we need to really be careful upon that. But also at the same time, what are the words that we're not saying? And words of let's just say a little analogy here that I want you to think about. If let's say your spouse maybe they get a promotion at their job. Odds are you're going to say, hey, congratulations, I love you, I'm so proud of you. But if you got a promotion at your job, would you ever say that about yourself, right? Whether it's literally looking at yourself in the mirror or whether it's just, who knows, just closing your eyes and actually speaking those words and just saying, you know what? I'm so proud of you, for getting that promotion and going through just, hell and back and this whole entire, duration of these challenges that we had to, face and overcome, but we did not give up. I am so proud of you. Congratulations. How many times have you ever, said that to yourself or speak that way upon yourself? If your child, let's say, gets an A+ on their homework assignment, you're probably going to say, congratulations, good job, right? But if, let's say, you had to play softball, right, and you hit, a home run, right, game-winning, home run, and you won it for the team, and everybody's saying, oh, congratulations, 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 like, that was awesome. Have you ever congratulated yourself? Think about it. And I don't want this to be a sense of you feeling like prideful, but it's more so of you feeling proud of yourself because that builds upon and adds to more confidence. That adds to you being mentally stronger, right? Where at the end of the day, you're learning how to become almost like your own coach, your own best friend. It's building some layers upon yourself because you're starting to realize here that, hey, it's not about what other people tell me. It's more so about what am I telling myself? And also, what are the words that I'm speaking upon myself? Gandhi has a quote out there that I love that says, be the change that you want to see in the world. And at times, we often forget that, our children, if we have them, they're looking up to us and they're following in our footsteps. Personally, for me with my son, and I know several members of Heartletics love saying affirmations or declarations, if you want to call it that, with their children. And these are just a few of examples where it's like very simple ones. I am kind. I am smart. I am brave. I am capable. I am strong. I am grateful. I am helpful. I'm loved. I am enough. And it's like, think about it. In today's society, and I always like to say this, is like, if you're not raising your kids, somebody else is. And who is that somebody else? Is that the school? Maybe. But it's also maybe like YouTube, right? If they're on their tablets, the movies that they're seeing, the friends that they're hanging out, all that stuff, where it's like, hey, you have to take ownership. You have to take commitment. You have to just simply say, I got to take control of the situation. I can't expect, my son, for example, to grow up in a world and feel confident if I'm not teaching him how to have that confidence within himself. If I'm not teaching him about affirmations and declarations and how to just, once again, learn how to become his own best friend and speak wisely upon himself. There's so much power to that where I want him feeling, right? Like, once again, the Bible verse, right? Death and life, they come from the tongue. So it's like, I don't want my son, for example, ever thinking to himself like, he's stupid or he's weak or, he's not good at anything. And it's like, no. It's like you have to give them power, right? Just like in this video, I'm trying to give you power, right? That power is a sense of permission, saying like, listen, why did you think in the beginning of today's episode I mentioned if you want to change your life dramatically, you got to be open-minded? Because I know certain people right now that may be listening to this, they're still probably thinking to themselves like, I don't know, it just sounds weird. It sounds kind of feminine even a little bit. Like there's just something off, like it makes them feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it probably does feel uncomfortable because you're probably not comfortable with yourself. I mean, think about it. If you can't look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself, we got some problems here. I mean, honestly, like that should be, hate to say this, but like that should be a rude awakening. Where if you can't even like look at yourself and tell yourself like you're proud of yourself or you love yourself, and let's say you're like, for example, right, staring off into like maybe your eyebrows or something else like your nose, you can't even look yourself dead in the eyes. We got some issues here. How can you expect to be confident if you can't even look yourself in your own eyes? I'm telling you, get the whole, woo-woo and affirmations being kind of feminine and this is just weird, like nonsense. Get that out of your head. It's nonsense. It's literally as simple as this. What is the story that you're telling yourself? Who are you? Who are you striving to be? Well, guess what? Let's make a declaration about that. And I'm going to go over some specific tips to help you out. That way it makes you feel more empowered to really step into your sense of purpose. That way you can take ownership, you can take commitment over your life, and guess what? Have more sense of a priority to go after your goals, to accomplish whatever it is that you want, but you're going to learn how to put some fuel to the fire. And that's what these declarations and affirmations do. They give you that sense of confidence. They give you that sense of permission and a sense of, fuel to say, okay, let's do this. Let's show up. But remember, you have to be open-minded. And with anything that you're trying to accomplish and becoming the best version of yourself, whether it's physically or whether it's mentally with creating better habits, you got to give it some time. I mean, let's say you're in your 40s, right? The past 40 years of your life, you've been telling yourself, you're not good enough, you're not smart, you're not strong, you're never going to be in shape. Guess what? Those are self-limiting beliefs that you have literally been planting these seeds, right, inside your head for the past 40 years. It's the ball and the chain that's holding you back. You got to learn how to break free from that. Come on now. Like seriously, if you really want to strive to become the best version of yourself, you have to learn how to take action. You have to learn how to take control. It's your life, nobody else's. And these simple stuff that we go over at Heartletics, with the physical habits, with the mindset habits, they're easy. But you have to be open-minded. And it's like, in the beginning, like anything, it's going to be difficult. Of course you're going to feel uncomfortable. You have 40 years of telling yourself you're not good enough. Don't expect instantly when you say, oh, I'm strong, right? I'm smart. I love myself to instantly, feel great. No. Napoleon Hill said in his book, Outwitting the Devil, repetition is the mother of all learning. And it's so true. Just remember, with anything, and this is why I always say, you got to be open-minded. Give it some time. But the more consistent you are, the more you take ownership that this is your life and you're going to make a strive to improve on that and become the best version of yourself mentally and physically, guess what? Eventually it's going to get easier. Now let's get into some helpful tips to really make sure that you're getting the most amount of value from today's presentation. For starters, go with how you are feeling for the day. And I can't stress this enough, right? If let's say your affirmation, which a simple way to create affirmations also, I am sentence, I am word, I am whatever. And at times it's going to be hard, right? So you have to figure out what is some ways to easily fit that in there. I always tell everybody, and we typically send out little affirmation cards, when somebody gets signed up for our coaching program that has some easy ones like, I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. That's my affirmation. I say that each and every single day. I stare myself in the mirror and I say that. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. You want to know why I love that so much? Because it's true. And it's true for you. It's true for anybody. I am in the what? Process. Okay. So what is the process? It's the journey, right? You can't say, oh, I have six-pack abs when you're over 40% body fat and you have the man boobs and the beer belly. Guess what? That's not going to make you feel really good. Staring yourself in the mirror and saying, I have six-pack abs. No, that doesn't work. But guess what? I am in the process. It sounds a little bit better. It does. And I don't like to put an end goal as six-pack abs or, I'm trying to, make X amount of money by a certain time. I like to keep it to where it's broad, but at the same time empowering. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. I love that, right? So after I am in the process, then it's what? Becoming the best. So the best version of myself, guess what? They're better than who I am today, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I'm in constant pursuit of that because I know for a fact every single day I'm striving to become 1% better. So it's I can use that simple affirmation for the rest of my life each and every day. Each and every day. And guess what I do? because there's so much truth to it. And honestly, like when it comes to creating some declarations or creating affirmations, you have to go with how you're feeling for the day also. Okay? So even though I just said, hey, I'm in the process of becoming the best version of myself, well, guess what? Some days are easier said than others. Some days I don't feel like showing up. Some days I'm sick. Some days I'm tired. Some days I'm just in a bad mood. So I can still say that, and that resonates with me because I'm still showing up. I'm doing something that's helping me. For you, who knows? If let's say you're just not feeling too good, right? It's just an off day. Who knows? Maybe you had some bad days in the past. You've just been feeding the bad wolf. Start off with something small. Start with something simple like, I am going to show up today and give it my all. The second tip is to say it to yourself in the morning. And remember, you can say it to yourself in the mirror, and I recommend that. I really do. Because I think just as a man, if you have a hard time talking to yourself and staring at yourself in your eyes, you got some problems there. I mean, honestly, like you're lacking confidence somewhere because if you're uncomfortable with just you being in the bathroom, probably by yourself and staring at yourself in your eyes, we got some issues. We have some kind of self-limiting belief that is holding us back, and we got to break free of that. If you want to change your life and have this amazing mindset, like you gotta step outside your comfort zone here. And that's another, mindset habit that we like to go over at Heartletics is embracing that comfort zone. And who knows, maybe just saying affirmations, that is you embracing and stepping outside your comfort zone. So encourage you, continue to do that. Don't give up, especially when it feels weird, and it will in the beginning. Because once again, if you got 40 years of, negativity and all this crap inside your head from watching all the, drama and, scarcity and negativity and violence on the news and social media, yeah, that's a lot of crap, right? So we got to make sure we're filtering that out. That's why I always say, be open-minded, be like a sponge, right? Absorb up everything, but rinse out what doesn't work for you. Obtain the stuff that's in the process of helping you, become the best version of yourself. So say them to yourself in the morning also. Because guess what? It's an easy way to just habit stack. I mean, think about it. We'll use two different analogies here when it comes to habit stacking, which is the best way to formulate a habit. So the first one is, let's say, going for a gratitude walk. So what are you doing? Well, I'm going for a walk, so I'm also getting in my steps, neat, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and I'm practicing gratitude, habit stacking. Great. What else are you doing first thing in the morning? Well, odds are you probably go to the bathroom. Oh, so great. There's realistically probably some mirrors there that you see. Well, instead of you just avoiding it because you don't like the way you look, instead embrace that, stare yourself right dead in the eyes, and say your declaration. Maybe while you're brushing your teeth, say your declaration. And once again, I'm going to say this. Steal mine. Steal it. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. If you can say that, and you can start just picturing in your head, what does that look like? How does that make you feel? I promise you, your life will change dramatically, like hands down. The last tip is to write them down. So maybe if you're focusing on having a gratitude journal where you write down the things that you're grateful for, and maybe you're spending, the evening doing some self-reflection as well, right? In terms of like evaluating yourself and writing down your wins. Once again, these are mindset habits that we go over at Heartletics. You combine all this. It does not take, 8 hours a day to do all this. No, it's very simple habits that literally anybody can do. You just have to make sure it's an importance to you. If you truly, after this journey of you becoming the best version of yourself mentally and physically, it has to be a priority to you. So it's like maybe after you get done writing down the things that you're grateful for, you write down your affirmation. How long does it take to write down, I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself? What, 10 seconds to write that down, if that? It's very simple. And the reason why it's so important of writing them down is because you have to take a look at the overall learning pyramid. So remember, like acquiring more knowledge, acquiring more skill and all that stuff, it's great, but it's how do we retain that? Well, when you're writing down stuff, guess what? You're retaining that. That's getting your mind, your subconscious mind, more than just saying something. So now it's like a double whammy. And also at the same time, I think they did a study. I believe this is I'm almost positive Harvard. Okay, don't quote me on this. But, a graduating class that wrote down like their goals every single day, they wrote down their goals. I think 10 years later, they followed up with that class. And they said, okay, who is the people that continue to write down their goals each and every day compared to the people that stopped? They found out that I think 92% of the people that actually wrote down their goals each and every day had success at reaching their goals. 92%. Now, I bet you anything, in those 10 years, there were probably some times where they didn't feel like writing down their goals. There were probably some times where they actually forgot to write down their goals, right? Which happens. But regardless, they're still writing down their goals. They're still consistent. Sure, maybe some days are off, but regardless, overall, they were consistent. I encourage you, once again, be open-minded. Because these tips right here, if you start making these declarations to yourself, and once again, I can't stress this enough, they will change your life. They did personally for me. You can get, a lot of people just thinking more positive just by giving them permission to just say, hey, listen, become your own best friend. You would tell somebody else, congratulations. Why don't you tell yourself? It's how you start building up this confidence, how you start feeling more proud of yourself. So please try this out. And remember, in the very beginning, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're probably not going to like staring at yourself in the mirror. You're probably not going to like writing it down. You're probably going to be thinking this is so stupid. But guess what? If you want to change your life, you're at least going to be open-minded and you're going to try it out. If it doesn't work, let's say 30 days after doing it, then sure, stop doing it, right? But I'm just giving you some specifics here on what has helped out thousands of our members, what has personally helped out me by doing something that literally takes a few seconds and has such a dramatic change, right? Dramatic improvement on somebody's life by just saying some simple sentences. Because remember, death and life, it all comes from the tongue. There's so much power into the words that we speak, and I want to make sure that you understand that. That way you start speaking proper words to yourself to not only just affirm and declare for yourself that, hey, you're after this, journey of becoming the best version of yourself. But most importantly, it's like those that are seeing you, maybe your kids, maybe your coworkers. When you change how you speak to yourself and you change your thinking habits and your thoughts, you're giving other people that little sense of inspiration. Like they're looking at you as like that lighthouse, right? In the middle of maybe their storm, where they're like, oh man, like this is great. Like there's an opportunity here for, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too. But it's all going to start with you. Just like as myself, I know, hey, having a son, if I want him to say affirmations, I got to make it cool for myself, right? Me and my son, all day long, we say our affirmations every single day on our way to school. And I love it. Takes what? 5 minutes? Fun little bonding exercise? Compound effect. Dramatic compound effect. And here's just a quick recap on today's presentation. So remember, in the beginning, we talked about the importance of creating a declaration. Don't think this is all woo-woo. Don't think this is all, nonsense or feminine. It's like, no, this is something very serious. And it's like, if you want to improve your confidence, if you want to improve your mindset, like understand the importance of creating a declaration for yourself. And then we went into some specifics on how to actually create a declaration. So remember, go with how you're feeling. And it does not have to be just one affirmation and that's the one that you always constantly say. No, mix it up however you want. Remember, there's not a one size fits all anything in life. So it's like create some ones that just resonate with you. And I personally recommend, saying them in the morning, saying them to yourself in the morning. If you want to say them throughout the course of the day, that's awesome as well. I do that as well. Who knows? Maybe just have some sticky notes as a quick little reminder that you can put on, let's say, your bathroom mirror, where that's your affirmation right there. And every time you go to the restroom, you can see your affirmation and you can simply wash your hands and read that affirmation to yourself. Bonus points if you're able to look yourself in the eyes while saying those affirmations, But remember, talk to yourself. Be more positive, right? Learn how to become your own best friend. Really watch the words that you are saying to yourself. There's so much power in those words, in your tongue. Remember that. And write them down also. Just so that way, once again, it gets in your mindset. It's easier. I'm not saying you need to write them down 5 times, 10 times, anything like that. Just write it down. It takes me personally a few seconds to write down. After I write down, my list of the things I'm grateful for every single morning in my gratitude journal, it takes me literally a second or two to write down, I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. That's it. And just remember, what to keep in mind for success is to be open-minded. That's it. Have fun with it though, Get the kids involved if you have kids, make it fun. Make it fun. I know several members that, they're going to say I'm going to crush it today. I'm going to hit a PR. That's an affirmation. Hey, I'm going to, crush this job interview today, right? That's an affirmation. Hey, I'm going to show up today. I'm going to make sure I hit my protein goal. That's an affirmation. I want to make sure that you understand, right? And this is the importance of being open-minded. If you want to have a dramatic change in your life, give it a try, right? Try it out. Find something that works for you with any of the mindset habits, right? And just once again, try. If you want to get good at anything, just like Napoleon Hill, right, talks about in his book, Outwitting the Devil, repetition is the mother of all learning. Hopefully you guys got some value from today's episode. If you did, please go ahead. Share this with a friend. Share this with a family member. Who knows? Maybe just share it on your social media account, because at the end of the day, I want everybody to really start investing into themselves and really start taking action, right, into becoming the best version of themselves, not just physically, but most importantly, mentally. And creating a declaration for yourself is so important. It's a powerful statement. It gives you the motivation, it gives you the fuel, it gives you the drive to just get up and go after your goals and not be a slave to the self-limiting beliefs that, who knows, maybe it's just holding you back. So once again, hopefully you guys got some value. And as always, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics Podcast, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.